If you're in a bad mood all the time, you need to take a look at what fuel you're putting in yourself. Some people do not do it right. If you don't eat the right food, you're never going to get out of the hole you're in. What you need to do is find the right diet for you, and you will feel better. My name's Nick Tabor. I'm a personal trainer. I talk about this stuff because I've lived through it. Now, this is not an anti-video on psychiatric pills for mood or anything like that, because some people do need that and I understand the science behind it. However, I think people are reliant way too much on it, and it takes a while to get somebody off those before, you could see any real decent results. We're talking simply just anxiety and depression at this point. When you eat the right foods, you feel better. When you eat the wrong foods, you don't feel as good. I and I embarrassingly put this story on the internet, but I had it's obvious I've talked about it before in some of these videos that I've had a weight problem. I was 305 pounds at one point in my life, very big, very fat, not good. Had a load of blood pressure problems. And, chemically, I was just really off. I was very irritable. I was angry at the world. I had a lot of issues. But my nutrition and my thought process was not correct. And therefore, what happened was I was fully fueling myself with the wrong food. And therefore, I didn't have it wasn't running well. It's like if you put gas in a car, if you put diesel fuel in a car, that car is not going to run very well if it's not, unless it's like, got a truck engine or something that you have to do. But anyways, you get the point. So there was a time where I worked a shift at a job, 3:30 to midnight, and I had this routine in my head, and for a very short while, I had a second job, and I would do sometimes after that. Not it didn't last very long, but I gained the habit that I would go to a local Wendy's and I would eat 5 junior cheeseburgers with bacon every single day, and I get that. It's so stupid to even say, but I get the philosophy in my head was, okay, a cheeseburger is really bad, but 5 little ones can't be that bad. So I would, grab these, I'd drive off, and I'd be eating them, scarfing them down, and throwing the wrappers out the window, as I was eating them. And yes, go ahead and, rant that Dennis Leary song if you have to. But I'm not mentioning it here because I don't want to get it taken down. This video taken down. But what I had to do was, okay, I realized I wasn't eating right because I'm putting processed food in my body, and it was making me feel really groggy, and it was making me feel awful. The food was not naturally right what I should be eating, and therefore what happened was, my body was simply trying to reject it. The stomach acids were turning. I had a load of stomach problems already. And, I just, nothing else was feeling good. And I was eating way too fast as well. It hurt. Like, there's no other way around it. It was just very, very hurtful to eat the bad food. And, my mood was bad. Because what happens when you eat food a diet that is unbalanced or a diet that isn't right? The food, you chew it up, you swallow it. It goes down into your system, and then what happens is your stomach digests and burns it off. And then when it goes into your intestines, it takes out all the nutrients, all the vitamins, minerals, everything else goes through the pores of the intestines into the body. The liver takes some of it, uses the energy, and disperses it out into the body as well, and the rest of it is just pure waste. After that, really, there's no real after that. That's really just about it. But if you're spending all the time in the bathroom, it ain't going to be that great. It ain't going to be that great at all. But the right diet will take all the food, utilize the food, and then disperse it around the body, and all your organs, that your bloodstream is taken care of, all your organs get some nutrients from it, and you have very little waste, and you have very little food that's stored because your body is using it. It's not losing it or storing it. That's what you want to do, is you want the food to be using, the body to be using the food. So, like, when you think about it, if you put the bad food in there and it goes through, it doesn't digest as well because the body's trying to figure out what to do. And this is the point where we really start to get the biological sense of it. But it doesn't go through and just say, okay, I don't need that. Okay, get rid of it, get rid of it. It gets stuck and it oozes. And then it forms a gas, and it gets through the intestines. And then your bloodstream starts getting poisoned. And then you don't feel good. You don't feel good because obviously your body is going into shock because it's literally being poisoned. So you cannot eat that balanced diet because you simply don't want to poison yourself. Don't poison yourself, you'll be in a good mood. That's the video. Good night, everybody. No, that's not the right video. That's not the video at all. So, what do we do? Okay. In this times where you have to eat the right foods, what you need to do is you need to make sure you have a diet that is written for you. You need to follow a diet, and this is where absolutely I am a trainer, so I am recommending that you hire a trainer or a dietitian to be able to do two things. Step one, step two. Hire somebody to be able to look at it from the outside. There is no test online that can do this correctly at all. So hire somebody to do it. It is well worth the money. It's not that much. Take the diet that you get and utilize it. You have to have the right amount of calories, number one. Okay? You do that in one of the previous videos. Actually, we'll call to that video right here in a few, at the end of the video. I talk about you need to have the right calorie, and you have to be at a calorie deficit. We have that formula in that description of the video, so you can plug your weight, plug everything in there, and you can use that. But you take that weight and you count your calories, so that way you can eat the right amount of calories, and then you are good. You're fine there, so that way you're not overeating, overindulging. I mean, what it would take to eat, you can eat a whole pizza when you're a teenager and, just walk home and you'll be totally fine. But if you even think about eating a whole pizza, I gain a pound now, 20 years later, Jesus. But you need to take your calorie count and measure it the right way, so that way you are losing weight, but you're also eating the right diet as well, the right amount. Because if you eat heavy all day, you can eat all the good foods, but if you eat the wrong amount or too much food, your body cannot digest all that all at once at the same speed. Because as it goes down the track into your intestines, there's only one way out at that point. Sorry to be graphic, but there's only one way out. You need to use the right amount. You need to take care, you need to use the right amount of food. Number two, as we're talking about calorie counts, the best thing you need to do is you need to hire somebody, as we talked about, your macros. You need to balance your diet right. The right amount of carbs, the right amount of proteins, the right amount of fats. Well, Nick, isn't fat bad for you? No, fat's good. Your joints need fat. Your organs need fat. Your organs need to be lubricated. Your joints need to be lubricated. This is why the low-fat diet in the 90s went out right away. It's simply not a good thing. You need to have the right fats, high-density lipids, not low-density lipids. The best way to figure out what type of fats you need, if you were to take a fat or anything that has fat in it, if you don't do this for everything, but if you could put it out into a kitchen, and it's at room temperature and it is solid, it's a bad fat. If it's a liquid, it's a good fat. So let me save you some time and some food poisoning. Butter? No. Okay, butter is going to stay solid at room temperature. Don't do that. But oils are liquid at room temperature. Olive oil, vegetable oil before canola oil if you can. An egg, each crack an egg yolk and it turns liquid right there. The liquid solid, the liquid area there, that is good fat. That's fine. Those are good things. That's good cholesterol. It's going to clean your veins out. You know your macros. Hire somebody to do an oxidative test. I said this before already. There is no test online, at least that I know of at the time of recording this. Spend a few bucks, hire a trainer. You can, or me, nicktaborfitness at gmail.com. Email me. I will link you to my PayPal account. You can pay me the $50. I will call you and do the oxidative test for you. It's really easy, and then we could be fine. You could be fine, and you could see how much protein, how much carbs, and how much fat you need. Well, Nick, isn't carbs bad? No, BS. Carbs are fine. Carbs are good. Matter of fact, a lot of Americans do not understand what carbohydrates really are. Yes, the starchy stuff like the bread. I eat bread all the time. I eat bread. Bread's fine, but everything in moderation. Fruits and vegetables are carbohydrates too? Yeah, I eat those, but those are good carbs. See? You're fine. You're good. But we don't understand carbohydrates, I think, as a general public. But balance it out, and then you're fine. Number 3, track your food. This is not a sponsor, but the best app that I know out there is MyFitnessPal. Use it as a food journal so you could see where your macros are every single day. And afterward, what you can do is you can just say, okay, I'm good. It tracks your calories, tracks your macros, and then tracks everything else between. So you can say, okay, yeah, I liked that dinner. That's fine. But also, if you have a night out, what you can do is you can look at some things. Like a lot of restaurants have have their calories of all the food on the menus. Which, okay, you think something's 500 calories, but you look at it, oh my God, that's a lot of fat. Ooh, no, I'm not going to do that. Or if you look at something else, okay, yeah, that's well balanced, I'll go for that instead. Then you're fine. But you can also measure it out. Also, while we're at this, drink plenty of water. I try to get to a gallon of water every single day. Some days I don't do it, but at least get over a half gallon if you're having a busy day. And there's where we are. So the video we talked about is right over here. Go ahead, click on that, check it out. I will see you there, and as always, we climb.